First presentation in English of the day. I'm so happy to be here in Peru, and soon we will be joined by Huáscar for a panel and conversation. First, I want to explain a little bit about one starts a career in burnout. I know this is not a usual profession. Hello, I'm a burnout advisor, not something that you decide to do when you grow up. I had a different dream. I'm sure that you know heroes wear capes. Batman, Spider-Man, they all wear capes, right? My hero was a little bit different. He wore tailored suit, my father. The story starts many, many years ago. I was this tall when I decided that I wanted to be just like him, successful, ambitious, powerful. So this is how my childhood looked like. I was at my father's office, my favorite playground. My dream was set very early. I wanted to be a lawyer. So I studied hard, became a French lawyer, an English lawyer, joined my dream law firm at the time, and I loved it. I really loved it. This is not a story where it goes, I stopped being a lawyer because I didn't like it. I loved it a little bit too much. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was a workaholic. I always work, and it was never enough. I loved it even when it was too much. I was asking for more and more work. I remember a few years after being a litigator, collapsing with pain, exhaustion, being diagnosed with clinical insomnia, general anxiety disorder, but nothing stopped me. I wanted more success, more achievement. Even when my ex-husband decided to leave me and ask for a divorce because I was not married to him, I was married to work. I kept on working. Up until one day, I will never forget this day. It was a Monday morning, 7 a.m. My mother called me in the office. She knew not to do that, but she called. My hero, my father, just had a burnout-driven heart attack on his way to work. And I didn't go home. I worked because I wanted to stay strong and I wanted to continue to role model his success. By the time I flew home on Friday night, he was in intensive care unit, and I was told by the doctor that he will not survive the night. When I walked into the hospital room, he had a stroke before my eyes. And this is the moment that I decided the way I work, the way we work, was not sustainable. So this is how I took a step back to continue to help the legal industry that I love just as much now as I did then, but in a different capacity. To serve, I retrained as a psychologist and therapist and burnout advisor. And I was given this title, Professional Burnout Advisor. I didn't know this profession existed, so I created it. Why am I sharing this story with you? Because we just met, but I know we have one thing in common. I look at everyone today and I see ambition. Is that true? You're ambitious? And it's a wonderful thing. That's why you are wonderful in our arbitration community. Ambition is a gift, isn't it? It drives success, achievement. But what I learned the hard way, sometimes it can also be a curse. Did you go to bed last night thinking I'm satisfied? I did everything I needed to do. We don't. What do we do instead? We go into distress. This is the psychology of performance. If you want to continue to do what you do and do it well, you need to be in the green zone. Eustress, we call in psychology. It means good stress. It's not no stress, it's good stress. But what do? Anxiety, distress. We wait for something to happen. a diagnosis, a divorce, threat of a divorce. So when I was working as a burnout advisor, something really interesting happened. I was working with some of the most powerful law firms in the world, and I already had a lot of work. But I got a call one day from a sport club who said, it's not just the arbitrators and the lawyers that burn out. Athletes, champions who prepare for the Olympics, they burn out too. Can you help? I wasn't busy enough. So I was intrigued. I wanted to learn from sports. And this is what I discovered from athletes. An equation that I wish we learned in law school. Stress plus recovery equals peak performance. Every champion that you see in the Olympics, you watch the Olympics this summer, they follow this formula. They were stressed, but they recovered. They became champion. They got gold medals. If you're stressed and you don't recover, like I did, you burn out. Recovery is not a weakness, is not a luxury. Recovery is the foundation of success. We think we're different. This is their office. This is our office. We're the same. You know why? Performance is performance. And we all want to win, don't we? So this is what I learned from working with top athletes. We can learn from them. Top athletes, top arbitrators, top counsels, top lawyers have one thing in common. They keep on winning. How do they do that? They feel good, positive mood. They feel energized, motivated. They use well-being as a strategy. In psychology, we call this adaptive. Do you use well-being as a strategy? Or are you more like this? You're tired, you're worried, you're in pain, your back hurts, your neck hurts, your stomach hurts, you're anxious, you're stressed. You're too busy for well-being, I know. When people told me, you need to do this, I said, you don't understand, I'm so busy. How often do you say that? Yes, but I'm busy. That's maladaptive, because one day something negative can happen to us. So today, we are going to learn from the champions. All the athletes, golfers, basketball, tennis, football, they do one thing. They prepare, they perform, they recover. Do we do that? Sometimes, on a good day. For you, I've recovered and I've translated this formula into our legal world. Preparation is powering up, performance is powering through, and recovering is powering down. What does that mean? Let's look at this. One athlete I work with, one lawyer I work with, both getting ready for work. Interesting, the athlete will be performing with her body. Do you agree? But look what she's doing. She's preparing her mind. She knows, because she works with a coach, healthy body, healthy mind. This lawyer, is she going to get paid for how fast she runs in her heels? No. She's going to get paid for how well she works with her brain. Fast brain, fast body? Do we take care of our body like athletes take care of their mind? No. This is what my clients do. Breakfast of champion. Caffeine, painkillers, processed sugar, no movement. Looks like your breakfast this morning? Yes, I know. It was my breakfast for many years. My favorite kind. And all of them together. We spend so much time in our head. Think about it. How many hours do you spend in your head? How many hours do you spend on your feet? How many hours did you spend on your feet today, yesterday, the day before? Think about it. In neuroscience, which is the study of the brain, which is my favorite practice as a hypnotherapist, I learned that when our brain is so busy, but our body is so lazy, there is a disconnection. And we lose some of this incredible power from our brain. Why? Because we did study. We took your brain and we looked at it, and here is what happens. When you're stressed and you don't move, your brain changes. There is a part of your brain called prefrontal cortex. It's here. And this part gets thinner and thinner, which means you have less motivation, more anxiety, and more depression. And it's not it. There is a part of your brain called the hippocampus. Hippocampo in Spanish, simpler. It gets smaller when you get stressed. And this you need to do the work that you do. You need it for memory. You need it for sleep. So if you struggle with your sleep, with your memory, with stress, it means your brain has changed. Not good news. There is good news. 80% of your brain can grow back with movement. 80%. That's pretty good. More invoice, more happy clients. 80%. It's a good number. But you don't have time, right? You don't have time. You're listening to me, you think, sounds good, but I don't have time. Who has a gym membership but doesn't use that gym membership? Come on. You know what you are? A generous donation to the gym. All my clients are very generous. They sponsor the gym. They pay the membership, the most expensive one, and they never go. Good sponsor. That's why the gym looks so good, because of us. What can we do about it? I know you're busy. I know how busy you are. But what if we did that? You working? Stand up. Don't stop working. Stand up. I have 3 standing desks. And one of them is foldable, so I can take it when I travel. You have to go up, take the stairs. Same destination. You have no time? Do a stretch at your desk for 1 minute. You have to go to your destination. Walk to your destination. Don't take the Uber or the taxi, especially if it's 2 blocks. I had conversation this week with wonderful arbitrators, lawyers that had a meeting 2 blocks away. They got an Uber. Do you do that? If you could take an Uber to your bedroom, would you do that to save time? Walking, that's all I'm talking about, a short walk. And if you still don't have time, don't stop working. Walk and talk. That's one of my favorite ways to work. Once a week with my team, I say, everybody, put your phone on, walk with me. Because we live in different countries. It's a very powerful way. You can put a challenge. I do this workshop in many countries. Peru is my favorite, of course. Of course! Recently, I was in the US and I was in California. And when I did this presentation, somebody said, "Can I say something?" I said, "Of course, please." He said, "I used to work with Steve. And when I worked with Steve, he told us to walk with him. And it took me a moment to make the connection. Of course, he was talking about Steve Jobs. The only Steve we can talk about, right? And he said, when Steve wanted a meeting, or I wanted a meeting with him, I had to do this. Or he wouldn't meet with me. And why did Steve do that? For creativity. Whether you love Steve, don't love Steve, I think Apple is doing okay. Look at this brain. Let's call this brain, this is a client, this is a real scan. Let's call her Carolina. Carolina A, she's sitting at her desk. Carolina B, she's walking, same brain, same person, same Carolina, 20 minutes. You have the most important arbitration of your life, and you can pick Carolina. Do you pick Carolina A or Carolina B? This is her brain activity. Carolina B. But do we? I don't know about you, but when I was at Jones Day and I saw people come back from the gym, you know what I thought? You're not serious. I'm a more serious lawyer than you are. I don't have time for the gym. I'm working. But they were taking care of their brain. I wasn't. I burnt out. They didn't. Let's think about our mindset. There is a number I love to think about, which is 10,000. 10,000 steps a day. Who got that number today? If you looked at your phone and got your step numbers, it's hard, I know, especially if we have a conference. So I like to think about it differently. 70,000 per week. So you can take steps in your bank account of steps and take steps out of your bank account. You use your credit card or you use your debit card for the steps. At the end of the week, you make sure you have 70,000 steps. This will reduce all risk of mortality, cancer, diabetes, heart attack, stroke. Isn't that useful to continue to do what we do? Just walking. A simple change, huge benefits. Now let's talk about cortisol, which is your stress hormone. I'm going to talk to you about one of my clients. These are real results from his saliva testing of cortisol. To preserve confidentiality, we're going to call him Carlos. Very, very smart guy. But when he woke up, look at his cortisol. Down, tired, no motivation. And then his boss is calling. His clients are calling. Emails. And now it's 1 a.m. Look at his cortisol. So high. Cortisol is stress hormone. Do you think Carlos can sleep? No. When you have high cortisol, it blocks melatonin. Melatonina. Sleep hormone. High cortisol, no melatonin. That's why I was a clinical insomniac, because my cortisol was sky high. So what did I do with Carlos? Reset his cortisol. Carlos, go for a walk. That's all. Job done. 20 minutes. Look at his cortisol up, and then, even with the work, goes down. So please remember that if you struggle with sleep, it may be because you don't move enough. A lot of my clients call me at 7 p.m. saying, what can I do to sleep better tonight? And I say, okay, too late for tonight. I'm going to tell you what to do tomorrow morning to sleep better tomorrow night. Make sense? You prepare tonight's sleep in the morning. Because when you move and you get a little bit of light, you have more energy at work and you can sleep at night. Now, I like science and I like math, so I thought, if this works, and I don't have to be an insomniac again, but I still don't have time, instead of walking, I could be running, saving time. And that's how I became a runner. Just pure math. Less time. I'm only sharing this story with you because if you really don't have time to walk, run. Why not? You go to the gym, fraction of the time. Why am I sharing this story? Even if all you do is 3 times 40 minutes walk a week. This is a real study. I put the resources. You can check the validity of this study. You will grow your brain back. Who is willing to commit to 40 minutes 3 times a week of walking? Is that reasonable enough to grow back your brain and prevent burnout? That's it. Now let's look at the next section, how to power through our day. Let's look at this athlete. What would happen to him if he was checking his WhatsApp during work? He fall. Never do that, but we do that. Why? His performance is lasting 5 seconds. Ours is lasting 15 hours. So we get distracted. Why? Because we never take a break. We don't have time. We go into work and we just keep going. And this is actually against our natural cycle. Here are the natural cycle of performance. This is scientific. We all have the same cycle. And these are cycles of 90 minutes to 120 minutes. It comes from the Latin word ultradian rhythm. We all have the same cycle, all made equals for this. And look, think, you work for 90 minutes, 2 hours, you're really, really focused, you're doing great work, and then you need a muffin, you need a biscuit. The cookies were very popular during the break because it was 2 hours after concentration, or maybe you go smoking, or another coffee that you don't need, something, right? But these are not recovery response. These are stress response. We work against our cycle, not with. So what do? The more stressed I am, the more I snack. Anyone relate to this? I deserve the biscuit. Or I need the biscuit. Which one is it? Bit of both, depending on the day. And it's never just one biscuit. 5 on a good day. Is this lowering your stress response or just increasing your waistline? I've been there. I've done that. What else do? The more stressed I am, the more I spend money. Yes. I see many ladies and gentlemen in the room say, yes, I know. I see my credit card statement. I'm very stressed. Is this helpful? Does it lower your stress? No, because then you have the stress of the bill. So you need to work more. What else do? Back to back. Yes? No time. Meeting finishes at 1, starts at 1. Finishes at 2, starts at 2. No time. So what do? My clients tell me I don't even have time to breathe. And I see a few of you right now thinking, me neither. No time to breathe. What we do is called email apnea. We stop breathing. You see this email, this deadline. Bad news. You stop breathing. Or over-breathing. No more cookies. No more money to spend. You take more oxygen. Anything else? Or then you just completely collapse. Have you noticed the later it is in the office, the closer you get to your computer? You collapse your lungs. But why do we do this? Because we don't have time for breaks. These are not intentional, conscious decisions. These are results of how stressed we are. But imagine if athletes had this mindset. I worked with some of the fastest athletes in the world. I was lucky enough to work with Formula 1 drivers. Imagine if they didn't take breaks. They're fast. In Formula 1, the faster you want to go, the better your breaks need to be. Our burnout is a car crash. If we don't use our brakes, we crash, like a driver crashed the car. Burnout is just a professional car crash for misuse of brakes. Same thing. Remember this next time you feel too stressed to take a break. What would happen to this guy if he didn't brake the car? There is good news. You have brakes. You just don't use them. These brakes are your nervous system. And there is one technique which is the most powerful and the fastest technique in the world. It's breathing. Let me explain. Take an inhale for me. Inhaler. Okay, this is your accelerator. Accelera, yeah, you go faster. So when you stress, you inhale a lot. That's why when you have a panic attack, you think you're having a heart attack. An anxiety attack, you're doing this. I have clients calling me. They think they're having a heart attack. They're having a panic attack. Happens a lot. I see a lot of you saying, yes, happened to me. Because when you inhale so much, you trigger your stress nervous system. You're accelerating so much. The car is too fast. Did you know you have brakes? Frena, right? We don't use them very much. We don't have time for brakes. Always busy. Exhale. When you exhale for me. Your body gets smaller. You agree? You feel it? You're actually activating your rest and digest. Your heart slows down. So when I work with a client with a panic attack, we exhale a lot, and the panic attack stops. So why don't we do it together? Just for 1 minute, because I want you to feel the benefit. We're going to inhale with the nose for 2 seconds. I'll do the counting for you. And then we're going to exhale for 4. Why? We accelerate, because we need to. We need to get things done. But then we break more, to relax more, to prevent burnout and stress. And yes, there is a guide for you. You can download, you will receive that. It's all ready. But for now, I would like you to focus on the practice by following my voice. My suggestion is you close your eyes to really relax. Close your eyes. It's been a good day. It's been a long day. Listen to my voice. And inhale with me for 1, 2. And exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, 2. Out 1, 2, 3, 4. How are you feeling? Open your eyes again. A little bit better? Yes! Did we change your emails? Remove your work? No. No magic trick here. But we did do something magical. Breaks. The thing we don't do. What if you did this every day? For 1 minute. Do we have 1 minute? 1 minute. Yes, we have 1 minute. If you do this every day for 1 minute, you take care of your heart. You prevent heart attack, stroke, metabolic disease. That's how powerful it is. Other ideas. These are breaks that are taking 60 seconds. Breath work, like I said, taking your phone away from you. We always have our phone. Put your phone away for 60 seconds. Look at the window. There is a world outside. Drink water. Do you know how many clients are anxious because they don't drink enough water? Did you know that a sign of anxiety feels like dehydration, and dehydration feels like anxiety? We don't even have time for water. If you have 5 minutes, positive connection, laughter is one of the healthiest medicine. Have a positive connection. Stretch, steps. Listen to your favorite music for 3 minutes. If you have a bit more time, go outside, get some light. Eat a healthy meal. not at your computer. And meditate. If you've never meditated, I prepared a 15-minute meditation for you. It's my gift. You can download it and listen to it. Just simple meditation. Let's look at the last section, power down. This athlete just performed. She's stretching. Do you stretch? Not physically, but your mind. How do you stretch your mind? She used her body. She's in pain. You're in pain too. Here. What do? I know what you do. Netflix and wine. Massage for the mind, yes! Of course. Is this recovery? Or is this escape? Coping? What is it? Let me tell you a quick story. Evan Jagger, very famous former Olympian. What happened? He was one of the fastest runners. And you know what he did? He ran too much. Like we work too much. And because he ran too much, he hurt himself. Really bad injury. Why? Because he didn't recover. Broken bones. Injured. One of the greatest runners. What about you? Do you work too much? Just like him, you could get hurt because you do too much of what you're good at. What do you do to relax when you're stressed? I know 12 things that my clients do to relax when they're stressed. I'm going to play a game with you. I don't ask you to answer the questions, but just keep track of your number. Out of 12, how many points do you have? When you're stressed, do you eat more processed food? Do you drink more alcohol? Do you smoke? Do you vape? Do you watch more TV? Do you shop? Do you spend? Do you use painkillers? Stimulants? Do you sacrifice sleep? Move less? Feel guilty when you rest? Do you cancel time with your loved one, with your family? You don't make time for passions, for hobby? Don't spend time in nature, being creative? Out of 12, how many points do you have? I'll tell you my answer when I burnt out. 12 out of 12. And I wish somebody showed that to me, because I did not realize what I was doing was damaging my career. So what can we do instead? We can have a little bit of mental well-being, a little bit of physical well-being, and a little bit of social well-being. I know you're high achievers. I don't suggest you do all 12 this weekend, because I know you want to go home and tell your wife, your husband, this is the plan for this weekend. All 12 things. I know how your mind works. I've worked with you before. No. Pick one. One thing. One thing that would really help you feel healthier and work better on Monday. One thing that would make you happier when you go to work on Monday. I want you to think about it and write it down for you. What can you start that you heard today that could really be helpful in your life? Don't share it with me, but just be honest. And what could you stop? I'm sure you picked up one thing from today. You think, I could stop. And if you need accountability, that's my job. Every week, I send well-being reminder. If you want my accountability, this is also my gift for you. You can be part of my world, so we stay connected. You get all of these resources with your toolkit. And we can stay in touch so I can keep you accountable for your well-being. I hope you see my passion for this, because I know it works. And it works because I did a new career, and I still work really, really hard, but I stay well. I didn't burn out again. And I'm still a high achiever. I created a successful business. I look after my health. I help my clients. I remarried, I found time for that, and I'm pregnant. Eu estou embarazada. Thank you, muchas gracias. And I share that with you because I really believe that you can be successful and healthy. You can. And one story that I want to share with you is, on that Saturday morning, my father did survive his heart attack and stroke. And when we were in the hospital, this is emotional, he told me he had a dream. And his dream was to do El Camino de Santiago. Daddy, you just had a heart attack. It's not reasonable. That's my father for you. So I made a promise and I made a deal. My dad likes a good deal. If you stay well and you promise me you look after your body, your health, and your mind, I will be your coach for Camino de Santiago. And this is us training. And he's back in his suit, more successful and healthy, and he did it. This is him. He powered up. He powered through. He even meditated. He said people made fun of him, but he did it to stay well. And I share this story because, again, he didn't have to choose between success or health. He was successful and healthy. So I hope this inspires you to do the same. Thank you.
Very good, no?
Muchas gracias. Huáscar, we're waiting for you.
Charlène, very happy you're here, and even more happy to know now that Peru is your favorite country.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, just a few questions for you. I'm a lawyer, as you know, and I am skeptical.
I never met a skeptical lawyer in my life.
I don't believe all the stuff you just said. Because we are a law firm, as many law firms, and we bill by the hour.
Of course.
Our target every year is related to an increase in the hours. Okay, and I see a tension. I can see a very clear contradiction between billing by the hours, partners, associates, and well-being.
Of course.
So please persuade me that I am wrong.
Oh, so I go back to being a litigator? I like the opportunity. I will take on the challenge, counsel. Here's the truth. Because we bill by the hour, we say we don't have time for well-being. Because do you get paid when you sleep? If you do, you're lucky. Do you get paid when you go to the gym? Do you get paid when you take time out with your husband or your wife or your kids? No. So we get motivated to do the things that we get paid for. It's human, it's natural. So you don't make time for your well-being. But how much is it going to cost you to make time for your ill-being, for your sickness? When you're at the doctor, you don't make money. When you're in the hospital, you don't make money. And maybe it's so serious that you have to take a break from work. In my line of work, it's a hard truth, but I always say there are 3 Ds in life that make us stop and think. Divorce, diagnosis, death. I am here today to invite you to think about what you can do proactively so that these 3 Ds don't happen prematurely.
Understood. However, I am 55 years old, I am a man of habits, and at my age, it's very difficult to change habits. So I perfectly understand what you just said during your presentation. I need to eat better, I need to meditate, I need to do more sports. But I have been 55 years doing different things. So explain to me, how is it possible for a man like me of 55-year-olds to change habits?
Oh, my favorite question. Now, I'm sorry, it's not a popular answer, but we don't change alone. Are we changing alone? If you knew how to change alone, you would have changed already. If you don't see the change, it's because you don't have someone pushing you to make the change.
But, I don't like feedback.
Ah.
I don't feel
But you like
comfortable.
to give feedback.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable when someone gives me feedback.
I
In fact,
hear you.
I've never gone to a psychologist. I don't like that. So,
Yes.
how does it work?
Do you consider yourself a star?
Excuse me?
A star, a champion, a really good professional?
I think I'm good.
Yes. Yeah, really good. Okay, come on. Let's give a bit of encouragement. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to tell you I think you're a star. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so Huáscar is a star. He's a champion. He's so good at what he does. What do champions do? Let me tell you a story. When I work with teenager athletes, the hardest moment of their life, you know what it is? When somebody like me comes to the club. Only the star get coached. Only the best one get a head coach. The one, okay, we don't take investment. Coaching is for champion. Coaching is for someone like you. You're a champion, you're good. So if you're good and you get someone like a psychologist, a coach, a therapist, you would be even better. Have you ever seen anyone in the Olympics do it alone? No, all the coaches, they're there. You see them, they're clapping. Wow. Do you see anyone on the podium say, no coach, no therapist, no help, I did this alone? No. But lawyers, we are embarrassed to ask for help. I have clients in very powerful law firm who say, oh, your name on LinkedIn, therapist, coach. When you come to reception, you're my cousin from Italy. You're a friend from Paris. I'm many things. I'm a cousin, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend. Because people don't want to admit they need help. I didn't want to admit I needed help. But here's the truth. If champion Olympics need help, we need help. Let me ask you a question. Do your clients need your help?
Sure.
Yes. Can you give them advice they don't have?
Sure.
So can your psychologist, your therapist, and your coach. It's that simple.
Okay, understood.
Have I convinced you?
I'm not sure, but understood.
Tough.
Let's move to another topic. We have 3 minutes left. As you know, because you have been a litigator and you did work in arbitration before, in an arbitration hearing, there are lots of emotions going on there.
Oh, yes.
The ego of attorneys is huge.
No.
And when they are competing in the argument, or when they are doing cross-exam, the competition can be destructive.
Yes.
A lot of emotions. So my question for you is, from what you know from your own experience, the emotional management within the hearing, what will be the importance that you give to emotional management during the hearing in percentage?
70%.
70%. And why? Why is that?
Because the other part of the percentage is the technical things, the legal thing. And we tend to think that's 80% or 90%. But the arbitrator is human, feeling emotions. Your client is human, feeling emotions. And if we don't have really good emotional regulation and really good emotional intelligence, in the long term, we have less resilience. So for example, a person with high emotion regulation will have an arbitration and will be in the hearing and will be stressed, of course, but not distressed. Not so anxious they need to go to the toilet because they're having a panic attack. If you're distressed, anxious, you can't sleep the night before, like me, you do not give your best performance the next day. We think we can do our best job without sleep, with anxiety. It's not. The performance decreases when the anxiety increases. So if someone has a little bit less technical knowledge, but a lot more emotional resilience, they will end up doing a better job. So it's not about being less technical. Everybody here is master of their technique. So you don't need to worry about that. Just increase your emotional resiliency. And to do that, it's well-being, self-care.
Okay, related to that, in the hearing, I would say that there are two types of communication with the tribunal and among each party. One is the verbal communication, and the other one is the non-verbal communication. The one that you make with your own body or your gesture. So in terms of importance and in terms of effective communication, which one for you is more important in the hearing?
It may be surprising, but it's the non-verbal, the body, because we are actually creator of mimic. So we mimic behavior, and we form a judgment within less than a second, maximum 3 seconds. And we don't form this judgment on words, we form the judgment based on the person and the body language. So the body language is actually a foundation. You need to have very strong, confident body language to support a very strong legal argument. So I am not saying that legal argument is not important. It's very, very important. But I have seen excellent technical lawyers fail because they were anxious. I'm sure you've seen this in meeting. Somebody does this, click the pen, click, 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 click. It's distracting. You don't take the person as seriously. So you can have the best technical answer. Your credibility is going down instantly.
And related to this, during the hearing, you can feel anxiety,
Sure.
you can feel stressed, or you can feel joy.
Yes.
So in terms of the communication you were talking about, in terms of performance, what will be the impact of feeling joy instead of feeling stressed?
Well, it's more sustainable. Let's think about the car again. I like to think in metaphor. If you put in your car a lot of fuel that contains joy, the car is going to keep running because you want to do more. You're motivated, you get up, you have the passion. I know you have the passion or had the passion, and then something happened, and the motivation goes down, and the passion goes down. Why? Because in your car, you put the wrong fuel, wrong petrol. You didn't put joy and love and service. You put stress and anxiety and depression. And so when you fuel your car with the wrong petrol, the car stops, it breaks. So it's really important to really maintain this strong well-being to fuel that passion. And that is called energy. I think this is really simple word and description. A lot of my clients who are stressed, burnout, they tell me I have low energy. So if you have low energy, it's a very good moment to ask yourself, when was the last time I had very high energy? When did it change? Because it wasn't always like that. There is always before, after, always. So my first question that I would like to ask you, what happened?
Do you see a connection between joy and creativity?
Oh, joy is the fuel of creativity. Actually, this is such a good question. From a neuroscientific standpoint, you cannot be anxious and creative at the same time. Cannot. Creativity happens in a state of calm, mind wandering, and relaxation. It's actually not really possible to activate creativity. And this is such a good question, Huáscar, because creativity does not mean becoming Pablo Picasso. I mean, if you can, good, very good. But creativity in our job means finding the best answer for the client, means creating that amazing solution legally, means thinking outside the box for your team to resolve the conflict so that the person doesn't quit. That's creativity. And you cannot be creative when you're stressed.
Okay, I think I need a coach.
You have my card.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias.